So I took a few minutes and put some grade marks on some stakes. I've got a couple of arrows. The top arrow is the top of slab, and the bottom arrow would be the bottom. 3.5, roughly 3.5, 4 inches for thickness. So I've got them leveled, fairly leveled across. Obviously the patio we do not want to be level, want to have a slope. So this middle one is pretty level. But this one over here at the low side, I did have a bit of a slope on that. But you can see I've got to bring some more rock in to get it up to a good grade. And then I'll be packing it down with the plate compactor some more. So you can get a good look here. This was kind of my main stake that I went off of right here. And I pulled the string and used the string level. And that worked pretty good. I mean, it get me fairly close. I'll use a laser when I start setting up the 2x4s. And then I've got another one over here. But that's good. I've got to bring it up a bit. That's what I wanted. It's easier to add because I've got plenty of rock still over on the side of my garage. And these rocks are compacting really nice. I ran that plate compactor over it yesterday just for a few shots, and it'll pack in real good, solid lock in, and then I'll get these forms up and get some rebar laid in here. I'm starting laying out forms over by the shed. So I'm going to have a walkway, kind of a old-time sidewalk, wood sidewalk, come out from the shed underneath the overhang here. There's an overhang. And so I wanted to get this fairly level across here. And I've got a slight slope coming up to this corner. And then this is paralleling the house. You can see there's the corner of the house over there. And then this will turn down at an angle towards the stairway and a little walkway. But I wanted this little corner here that parallels the house to be level. So I've got a 6-foot level on there. Got that piece level, and it will slope down from here. So I'll slope coming down this way. I'm leaving these tails apart because I'm going to curve the corners a little bit. Not all the corners, but some of these transitions are going to have curves. That'll be a curve there. This one will be a curve over here coming to the steps. But this is my other reference mark here. I've got to keep out from the step here. I've got 7 3/4. I've got a black marker line down there. So I'll come out from there, kind of level, a little bit of a slope, and tie that into this form. And then I'll run that level across here, and then that will tie into this angled form. So I'm just getting started here, trying to get a lay of the land, get things laid out. That way I'm going to really know how much more base I will need. It's pretty close. I've got some more grading to do, but I've got this compacted really nice with the plate compactor, and we'll keep moving along. Okay, getting more done here, more forms. I showed that one there. I got this diagonal across, paralleling the angle of the house, sidewalk over to the deck steps. It's all formed up. So I do have some more fill to bring in, a little bit more base material. I've got to get this form along here still. I'm going to come perpendicular off of that form. That's going to come out straight across here, and then we'll curve in and tie into the sidewalk form. And these gaps that I've left here, those are going to be slight curves, just a little bit of an ease of a corner. Same thing over here. And I've got the same over here. I'll have to cut this one back a little bit. My level just tipped over in the wind, but got a pretty good slope going off of this. That's a 14-foot 2x4 there that I was using to get the elevation of that downslope form there. So it's coming along. just a piece of smart side that I'll use for some of the curve forms. Kind of screwed myself over a little bit. I usually use masonite for this, and when I got it in Menards, they use all the smart side. And the smart side's nice and durable. Doesn't flex as well. So I'm just giving some glue from the back. I've got 3 of these to do, but I think this will work out. So when I'm working on a little curve, just to ease the edge or a corner on a patio or a sidewalk, I imagine where these 2 lines will intersect, these 2 forms. And then I kind of just give a guesstimate right there is where the intersection of that point would be. So it's not rocket science, but there is a little bit of math involved if you want there to be. If you want to go ahead and bisect this angle and then take your radius off of there, seems like a lot of work to me. So I just estimate. I'm going to come back. Here's my flat about there. If I come back, say 10 inches back this way to the flat of the other side, and then I'll cut my form there. Should have approximately the same amount. If I screw my form onto this side, screw my form onto that side, this should be a pretty fair radius that is bisecting right at this angle. Not too worried about this joint right here. You can usually feather that in really nice with the edger. Right here where the smart side and the 2x4 join. I haven't had much issue in the past making that disappear in the finishing process. But that just does a nice little job to ease the curve so you don't have a hard corner right there. So I didn't have to relief cut that one. There was enough flex in that slight curve. Just makes for a nice transition. Then I'll have a hard corner over here. If you have to wheelbarrow materials back in, pile over your forms, you can drive your wheelbarrow back over. I've got two more to do. This will be a pretty gentle sweeping curve here. And then this one here. For anybody that was wondering, the distance apart on your relief cuts, it's a no-brainer, I suppose. But it does matter for the flexibility of the board you want to bend. I thought since this would be a more gradual curve right here between these two 2x4s, that I could get away with this type of distancing. Well, it snapped. The board just was too much pressure. So you can kind of tell there's not a whole lot of flex. There's some, but not nearly as much as this one with a lot of relief. So it does make a difference. Just takes a little more time. Guess I was probably just getting hasty or lazy, thinking I could get them further apart.